Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm doing a tutorial on number balloons. So I'm doing a number balloon for my daughter's 4th birthday party. She was born on December 20th and we're having a birthday party for her. So I went on Etsy and I found this file. Actually, it started with Pinterest. I was trying to look up different ideas on what I should do for her birthday party. And I was pricing different rental companies, and I couldn't find one that had a reasonable price. Everybody was charging around like 200 plus delivery fee for just a number 4, which isn't fine. You know, your price is your price, but I was doing a in-house party, and I didn't want to go over my budget. So I went on Pinterest, and I found this cool number balloon, and then I went on Etsy to see if they had someone selling the file, and I actually did look up and I found a file that I can purchase, and I have never did this before, so this was totally new to me. So I purchased the file, I downloaded it. It came in 4 attachments as shown in the beginning. So I had to put the files together. So it is 3 parts to this number 4. So I'm currently putting it together in the middle. The number 4, you have to use one of the files and you have to go across horizontally. And I believe you have to put it in, I believe 4 pieces if I'm not mistaken. Like 1, then it's 3, and then it's 5, and then you go down to 8, and so on. So now I'm just taping it together to make it sturdy. So I did it row by row, and now I'm bringing it all together so I can make sure when I cut out the number 4 that everything is together and nothing falls apart. So this is the part that I'm currently doing right now. After I do the number 4, I also have 2 pieces on the side that I had to put together that I also have to cut out because it's going to be the trimming of the number 4 and the trimming for the inside of the number 4. So as you continue to watch this video, you'll see exactly what I mean. This whole project was time consuming. You'll see me change clothes because I couldn't finish everything in one day. I actually did it late. It took me 2 days to do it. So I started on Friday. My daughter's party was Saturday. So I woke up around 9 a.m. to try to finish it. But it was just taking too much of my energy. So I wish I would have did this like a few days or even a week in advance because like I stated, it takes a lot of energy and time to put the numbers together, cut them out, trace it on the board, and all of the above. So as you follow the steps, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So right now, I'm just cutting out the number 4 so I can place it on a foam board that I purchased from Home Depot. It was a large board, but I had to get it cut in 2 pieces because it couldn't fit in my car. Even after I purchased it and it had them cut it in 2 pieces, it still couldn't fit in my car. So luckily, I live a 5-minute walk from Home Depot. Even though it was cold outside, because as I explained, my daughter was born in December. I live in New Jersey, so it was very, very, very cold. But I had to do what I had to do because I wanted this number 4 so badly. So I definitely took the walk from Home Depot to bring the foam board back to my house, and then I had to walk back to Home Depot so I can get my car from the parking lot because I left it there. And I mean, the walk wasn't pretty bad. My hands were just freezing, but besides that, I was like, I have to do what I have to do because I wanted this number 4 so badly. I paid for the materials already. I paid for the file from Etsy, so I had to make it do what I had to do. So this is the board that I purchased from Home Depot. It was $15 for one board. Where you see the black masking tape at, that's where I had it cut in the middle. So it's basically cut evenly, and I had to put it back together. I purchased a Gorilla Glue tape so I can have it taped together very sternly and sturdy. So now I am tracing the number 4 onto the board. I started tracing it, and then I was like, I don't really need to trace it. Let me just I might as well just cut it out with the, what is it called? A box cutter, yes. I use a box cutter just so I can trace out the number 4 because I started to trace it out on the foam board, but I was like, I might as well just go ahead and use a box cutter. So that's what I'm doing right now, just using the box cutter. And I cut out, I traced the whole entire number 4, but you see where the number 5 at is a line above it. You can also cut lightly into the board. You don't want to go all the way through because you don't want the piece to be broken off when you pop out the number 4 from the foam board. But you still need to know that because you have to fold that part. So just make sure that you cut into it lightly. So for 2, 3, 5, 8, and I believe that's 1 on the side, make sure you cut into the board very lightly so when you fold it, it can stay there and not actually be broken off, if you get what I mean. I mean, as you do this yourself, you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. So I decided that I was going to use the tools to help me pop it out, but that wasn't working. So I had to go back over with the box cutter, and I used the cutter to help me go more in depth through the foam board, because even though I traced it, it actually didn't go all the way through. So I had to go back over and I had to retrace it, and now I'm popping it out. So you also have to make sure that you cut out the inside of the 4 as you see displayed right here. So now that the number 4 is done, now we're on to the cutting out the 2 sides that you see me putting together in the previous clip. So I'm going to glue this on. As a matter of fact, I can't. Yes, I can. So when I told you to cut into the board lightly, my mistake was I didn't do that. So those pieces were basically popped off, so I had to glue them back on. So that was my mistake. So now I'm gluing the pieces that I told you to cut into lightly, just to make sure that you don't have the problem that I have, which was that it fell off. So now I am just gluing the pieces onto the number 4 so I can complete this project. And if you continue just to watch it, I believe this is a very, very easy tutorial. I have never seen a tutorial like this that was able to guide me on how to do it. I did this from following the file that I received. It wasn't too much in depth, but it was enough to work with. So I basically got the job done. I also had some help from my mom because I really couldn't figure out what it was, and I almost gave up. And then I just decided to try one more time, and I was like, oh, that's how you put it together. And in reference to putting the file in the beginning together, I didn't know how to put the numbers together. I was putting the numbers as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, going across horizontally. And when I explained previously that you have to do number 1, the number 3, the number 5, and then you go down to the second row. So now I'm just putting the pieces on that like I explained before, that you have to cut into lightly. I'm just folding it over, and I'm just also adding a little glue just so I can make it sturdy. And now I'm using the remaining of the foam board that I have left over so I can cut out the 2 pieces I need so I can add it to the outside of the number 4, and so I can add to the inside of the number 4 so I can complete this project. So my mistake was putting the number 4 in the middle of the board. I should have lined it up, whereas I should have moved it to the far left or the far right, just so I can have more space so I can use these 2 pieces and cut it out. So basically I should be able to use as much as the foam board that I possibly can, and so I don't have to go back to Home Depot to actually buy more foam board. So when you're doing this project, just make sure you move the 4 over to the far left or the far right, just so you can have more space on either side of the board, so you can use it for the other 2 pieces that you have, so that you can cut it out and add it to the number 4 to complete this project. So as I explained previously, I forgot to use as much of the board as I can. So the 2 pieces that I had left, I actually had to split them up into 4 pieces because the pieces were too long for me to add onto the foam board, but I wanted to use the foam board as much as I can. So the 2 pieces that I had, I made it into 4 pieces so I can use as much of the foam board as I could. So I didn't have to go back to Home Depot as I stated previously, so I can save as much money as I can. So that's just a trick that you can also do. So once you split it into 2, make sure you remember the pieces that you have so you can tape it. Use the Gorilla Glue tape because it is very sturdy. Use that and you will be fine when you have to. Or you actually don't even have to use the Gorilla Glue tape. I don't think I did that. I think I just glued it on to the number 4 because it was already going on the outside of the number 4, so I didn't have to actually glue it back together. Well, not glue it back together. I didn't actually have to tape it back together. I just glued it onto the number 4 as you see displayed right now. Thank you. I'm so happy that this turned out better than expected. It could have been better, but I was using a box cutter, and this foam board is so soft. And being that it was so soft, once I cut into it, I didn't know how to make a straight line. I mean, I knew how to make a straight line, but my lines were just going all over the place. So I glued it together as much as possible with the crooked lines and some straight lines, but it still turned out pretty decent. As I explained before, I was only using this for a house party, so I didn't expect for it to be as perfect as I needed it to be. Plus, this was also rushed, so I just made it work with what I came out with. I would never, I explained this to my mom, I would never do this for anybody else because I feel like you have to be very perfect. Yeah, I feel like you have to be very perfect, and I am not that perfect. A few people asked me to do this for them, but I kindly declined. But my little cousin is having a birthday party, being that, she's family and she's not going to critique my work like that. I'm going to try again for her. But besides that, and also my best friend's birthday is coming up. We're throwing a surprise 30th birthday party for her. So I'm actually going to do 2 numbers coming up. So I'm going to see how that turned out. And for this number 4, being that I rushed, putting in the balloons, I actually didn't have time to actually make big balloons and small balloons. So putting the balloons in, it looks a bit crazy. I added that video at the end. So I definitely had to perfect it when I do the number 30. But I know that might be a rush job too because I'll be flying in from another state and I'm only going to have 1 day to do this versus having 2 days right now. So I might have to do this project a 3rd time so I can actually show you how to put the balloons in correctly and actually make it look right. But thank you guys for tuning in. Please subscribe and comment down below.